Most people retire with enough money, they just have no idea how to turn it into income. And that blind spot is why so many financially responsible people end up more anxious in retirement than when they ever were while they were working. You spend 40 years saving consistently, investing patiently, staying the course, and then you get to retirement and realize nobody ever taught you the most important part. How do I actually live off this thing? Today, I'm going to walk you through a real plan built for a real couple. They had a $4,150 monthly income gap, market anxiety, a tax problem, and 8 grandchildren they wanted to leave something meaningful to. By the time we get to part 3, you're going to see what we did with $75,000 that most people never think to do with IRA money. Stay with me. Robert and Linda Johnson. Robert is 60, Linda just turned 61, 5 years from retirement. Between Social Security, a small pension, and their savings, they will have approximately $5,850 a month coming in. They need $10,000. That's a $4,150 gap every month for the rest of their lives. When I asked what was really keeping them up at night, 4 things came back immediately. The market. They can't afford a 30% crash this close to retirement. Inflation. They want income that keeps up, not income that slowly loses ground. Taxes. Almost everything sitting in traditional IRAs, every dollar taxable is ordinary income, with RMDs forcing withdrawals on the government schedule. And then the grandchildren, 8 of them. Robert showed me a Christmas photo, the youngest maybe 3 years old. He said, "We didn't build all of this just to hand most of it to the IRS." Now, most advisors would have handed them a diversified portfolio at a 4% withdrawal rate and said, "You should be fine." Maybe they would have been. Or maybe they would have retired into a bad sequence of market returns, watched savings drop 25% in year 1, and spent the next decade making smaller and smaller withdrawals from a shrinking account. That's not a plan. That's a hope strategy. What Robert and Linda needed was a structure. Let me show you what we built. Most people think about retirement like a bathtub. You spend your whole life filling it up. Then you retire, pull the plug, and you spend the rest of your life watching it slowly drain, hoping the water lasts longer than you do. Every month becomes a question. How much do we take? Which account? Should we wait for the market? You didn't work 40 years to spend retirement staring at a draining bathtub. Now, the right model is a waterfall. Multiple streams of guaranteed income flowing into your life continuously. Predictable, structured, and designed to get stronger over time. You're not drawing down, you're drawing from. The way you build that waterfall is giving every dollar a specific job, not just invested, but a defined job. Now, here's how we built Robert and Linda's waterfall in 3 parts. I'm saving part 3 for last. It involves that $75,000, and it's the piece that made Robert go quiet for about 10 seconds when I showed it to him. Part 1 is the foundation. We take $100,000 and set it aside as a pure cash reserve. Think of it like a moat around everything else. Now, life does not stop being expensive just because you stop working. The roof still leaks, medical bills still arrive. Without dedicated emergency cash, a single unexpected expense forces you to crack open the wrong account at the worst time. $100,000, liquid, safe, never touched for income. That is the bedrock. Now, we also set aside $75,000 from their after-tax savings. Not explaining that yet, but hold on to it. Part 2 is the income engine. The remaining $860,000 goes into what we call an income ladder. Instead of planting one massive crop, one harvest, one season, one shot, imagine planting 3 separate orchards, each one staggered, each one designed to come into harvest at a different point in time. Fruit coming in year after year after year. 3 orchards, 3 separate annuity positions, each time to produce income at a different stage in retirement. Now, Orchard 1 was $687,000 of IRA money. It goes into a fixed indexed annuity that protects the principal from market loss, while the income benefit grows at a guaranteed 8% compounding rate on the future payout. For 5 years, while Robert and Linda are still working, this orchard grows. The market can do whatever it wants. This tree does not care. At 65, the first harvest begins. $52.57 per month joint lifetime income arrives every month for as long as either of them is alive. There's no expiration. There's no market dependency. It just flows. Now, their goal was $5,000 a month. The first orchard alone clears it. Robert spent years watching a portfolio number bounce around. Some months felt like progress. Some months felt like the rug was getting pulled out. The day that first guaranteed check arrives, the feeling is completely different. That's not a portfolio value. That's a paycheck. And they're just getting started. Now, Orchard 2 was $103,000. We use the same structure, but we don't harvest this one at 65. We let it grow at that guaranteed 8% for the full 10 years. Now, at age 70, 5 years into retirement, Orchard 2 comes into harvest, and it adds another $1,297 per month to their existing income. Now, Robert and Linda are 70 years old, 5 years into retirement. They have not touched this money. They haven't called anyone. They haven't checked the market, and their retirement income just automatically increases by 25%. A 25% raise 5 years in, locked in by contract. Linda wanted income that kept up. This is income that keeps up. New total is $65.54 per month. Now, Orchard 3, just under $70,000. Grows for 15 years, and at age 75, adds another $1,331 per month. Another raise, another 20%, automatic. Their total monthly joint lifetime income at age 75 was $7,886 per month. At age 65, their income gap was closed. The waterfall starts flowing day one. Age 70, they get a 25% raise, no market required. Age 75, another 20% raise, growing exactly when inflation has done its most damage. Every stream flows for life, for both of them, no matter how long they live. That is part 2. Now the $75,000. Here's the question worth sitting with. If you could pay a one-time tax bill today, and in exchange a specific pool of your money would grow completely tax-free and pass to your heirs without an income tax bill on the other end, would that be worth doing? For Robert and Linda, based on their specific situation, the answer was yes. Now here's what we did. We took $314,000 of their traditional IRA money. Money that the IRS was eventually going to force them to withdraw whether they wanted to or not. And we converted it to a Roth IRA at the very start of their plan. That conversion triggered a one-time tax bill. $75,000 paid from money already sitting in an after-tax account. Now the $314,000 lives inside of a Roth IRA. One instruction, grow. For 25 years, we leave it alone. No income taken, no withdrawals, just compound interest doing the one thing it needs, time. At a conservative 6% assumed growth rate, and I want to be clear that that is an assumption, not a guarantee, that money compounds quietly in the background while their income ladder does its job in the foreground. By the time Robert and Linda are 85, if that growth rate holds, it has grown back to approximately $1.35 million, which was roughly the amount they started retirement with. And because it's a Roth IRA, under current tax law, that growth is income tax free. No required minimum distributions, no income tax when they access it, no income tax when their children and grandchildren inherit it. Remember that Christmas photo? The youngest maybe 3 years old, that child could inherit a piece of that balance completely income tax free because Robert and Linda made one strategic decision at the start of the plan. Now, most people spend retirement slowly handing money to the IRS one withdrawal at a time, like feeding coins into a machine that never stops taking. Robert and Linda paid the toll once at the entrance and drove tax-free for the rest of their life. Now, that's not a loophole. That's just knowing how the tools work and using them in the right order. The complete picture. Now, Robert and Linda retire at 65, guaranteed income that meets their $10,000 monthly goal from day one. Lifestyles not dependent on markets, income not shrinking when the headlines turn ugly. At age 70, they get a 25% raise, automatic. At age 75, another 20% raise. And in the background, a Roth IRA compounding for 25 years, working towards recovering their original balance and passing it tax-free to the next generation. The 4 fears they walked in with: market risk. Their income does not come from the market. Inflation. 2 automatic raises built directly into the structure. Taxes and RMDs. Addressed strategically from day one with a single decision. The inheritance positioned to pass tax-free to the people they love most. The bathtub model asked, will the water last? The waterfall model answers, the stream never stops. This is what it looks like when every dollar has a job. Robert and Linda's plan is not a template. The numbers, the structure, the specific legs, all built around their situation. Your plan would look different, but the framework is the same. Income structured, not hoped for. Every dollar with a defined job. Tax strategy built from the beginning. Growth assets protected from being sold at the worst possible time. Now, if you watched this and thought even for a moment, I wonder what my waterfall could look like. That's exactly what our free annuity roadmap session is for. 30 minutes, Zoom call, no cost, no obligation, no sales pitch. We look at your numbers, your income sources, and your gap, and build a visual picture of what a structured plan could look like for you specifically. You leave with a custom PDF to keep regardless whether you work with us or not. The link is in the description. And if this video helped you see retirement income differently, please subscribe. This is what we do here at Annuities and Retirement. We show you how retirement income actually works. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we'll see you in the next one.